Good evening. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. A year ago, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stood up in his parliament and said that Canadian security agencies have been actively perusing credible allegations of a potential link between the agents of the Indian government and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Yesterday, during a public inquiry, he admitted that Canada had no hard evidentiary proof to support these allegations he had made. Now, this testimony comes amid heightened diplomatic tensions between the two countries. There was tit-for-tat expulsion of diplomats that we saw in this last 1 week. The Indian government has consistently argued that Canada provides a safe haven for pro-Khalistani elements who pose a threat to India's security, including Hardeep Singh Nijjar. But dossiers after dossiers, there has been no action that has been taken by the Canadian administration, no extradition requests that have been paid heed to. This latest admission by Justin Trudeau has only vindicated India's stand that allegations of our alleged role in the killing of a Khalistani separatist are nothing short of ludicrous. So let's take a look at what exactly transpired. Yesterday, Justin Trudeau was deposing before a parliamentary panel in his country over foreign interference, which is where he said that primarily we had intel but no hard evidence at the time when these allegations were made of Indian agents' link with the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. India then made it very clear that this only confirms India's consistent stand that there has been no proof that has been shared with us over the last 1 year. Justin Trudeau yesterday said that he was briefed about intelligence at the time when he made those allegations, and he raised those allegations with India as well when he was here in India during the G20 summit. India has then gone on to say that Canada has not presented them with any evidence. We have no evidence whatsoever of what these allegations are and why they are being made against any of our Indian agents. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, said that not only was the intel from his own security agencies, but possibly from Five Eyes nations as well. India then said that for this entire fiasco, what India called as cavalier behavior of Canada and of Justin Trudeau, MEA said that nobody else but Justin Trudeau alone is to blame for this. Now, opposition parties here in India seem divided though on this issue. Many of them did come out and slam the Canadian Prime Minister over his callous behavior. But there were some within the Congress who put the onus on the Indian government for the current situation. Let's begin with what Jairam Ramesh said yesterday. He is a Congress Member of Parliament. He is also the communications in charge. He put out a long social media post yesterday where he said that these charges are tarnishing India's reputation. They threaten to damage brand India. A nation's international image is at risk, which is why opposition parties must be taken into confidence by the government, and the government must come out and clarify. Charanjit Singh Channi, also a Member of Parliament now, served as the Chief Minister of Punjab not too long ago. He went on to say that we should not spoil relationships with Canada because we have so many Punjabis, so many students studying there, so many Punjabis who stay in Canada, and ties with them have to be maintained. He also went on to say that the Indian government must take steps to improve bilateral relations because they are now at a stage which is not going to help either of the countries. Rashid Alvi, another Congress leader, said that this situation is decreasing India's respect globally, and that if this current situation prevails, then our reputation will continue declining. So while Justin Trudeau, in the last 1 year, by his own admission yesterday, has given absolutely no proof of what India's alleged role is, why is the onus then on the Indian government to come out and clarify anything? Is the Congress justified in questioning the Modi government? That's what we asked tonight.
Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
At that point, it was primarily intelligence, not hard evidentiary proof. So we said, well, let's work together and look into your security services and maybe we can get that done. No, we're not doing that.
There is a pattern. The pattern is motivated by political considerations on the part of the Canadian Trudeau government. There is a clear pattern to smear India.
ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਖਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਧਾਰੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ।
कनाडा को चाहिए कि वो जो भी आतंकवादी उनके यहाँ पनाह लिए हुए हैं उनको वो भारत को सुपुर्द करें ताकि भारत के कानून के अनुसार उनके साथ यथोचित कार्रवाई की जा सके।
Let's open this up. Tom Wadakan, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us. Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, leaning towards the Congress. Tara Karta, former director, NSCS, joins us as well. Tom Wadakan, let me begin by asking you. You know, the Congress has tried to course correct now. We've had Pawan Khera of the Congress party come out and say that we stand with the government of the day. But opposition leaders must be taken into confidence. Why then did we see this long post that came to the fore from Jairam Ramesh yesterday? Multiple other Congress leaders then come out and question how brand India, how the global image of our country was taking a hit. Do you think this is the first impulsive reaction perhaps of the opposition?
This is nothing impulsive, Poonam. This is a planned, motivated reaction coming from the Hydra-headed Congress party. They speak different languages. You have people who are not official spokesperson like Rashid Alvi coming on television and saying, well, our image has been disturbed across the... I mean, you know, after that, they'll immediately say he is not the official spokesman. Mr. Khera is the official spokesman. Jairam Ramesh is playing his own music after Haryana defeat. So everybody has their agenda. Now, let me be very candid. Foreign policy has not been a debatable subject over time. Whether at any period of time the opposition has gone along and supported the government of the day. Because this is not a fight against any particular self-interest. This is a fight for the integrity of our country. We have passed a resolution in Parliament about integrity variety of times. And here, this expression is only dissatisfaction on their part, on their political failure. What has happened? Let's examine the whole aspect threadbare. What has happened in Canada is yesterday, that is Canadian time, Justin Trudeau goes and sits before a commission and has a lot of things to say. He says, well, you know, we don't have any evidence, but all we have is some intelligence input. And he also used alleged, he uses the word alleged. He's not very sure what he's talking about. But the reality is there's a clear attempt to divert attention of genuine foreign interference by certain countries who are, he loves certain countries and he doesn't want to expose them. I'm not naming the country concerned, but yes, there's been problems. There's been funding of a parliamentarian. There is influence factors. There are, deep-rooted connect with the political hierarchy in Canada. Then there's cyber war that's going on. Then there is a Muslim nation that has taken them on. So he is surrounded with problems. And he thinks that by bringing in India like a scarecrow, he can, divert attention from his domestic issues. That is the issue. Now, if you ask me to go a little further, Air India, the sabotage that happened to Air India, and the Canadians who died, if the situation was controlled then, you would not have seen that day today. Because Khalistan movement started, they got their root there. And it was Trudeau's father who was there at that time. No action was taken. Today, Khalistanis are required for him to give him support. He's on a losing wicket. And he thinks that Khalistanis would, support him. And the worst part is, we have a particular party in this country which aims at destabilizing our country. Their target is regime change. And they play this card very well all the time. But this playbook that they adopt from Soros and company doesn't work. We have a Prime Minister who can lead from the front. We have a Foreign Minister who can reply to the Canadian authorities That kind of authority, which I don't think we have seen any foreign minister do. And our actions are perfect, correct. It was an action they did, and you have a counter reaction. And we are not going to be quiet about it. You make an allegation, and the worst part is they have named some news, television channels as evidence of interference in their political affairs. We telecast from India, and if somebody sees it, I don't think we are so influential to influence the political situation there. When you criticize our country, we will give it back to you. And when you get that, you say, well, channels in India are interfering with the affairs of Canada. Oh, what an example this is.
And the interesting part is he made this, the admission that came from Justin Trudeau was when he was deposing before an international interference panel, and the onus was on him to show that his administration didn't fail as far as Chinese interference is concerned. And even when this entire Nijjar killing case is concerned, Syed Asad Abbas, the burden of proof is on Canada, not on India. And that has been made very clear. But why then do we have political parties try and not keep this bipartisan?
Poonamji, you're absolutely right on the front that yes, the burden of proof is on Mr. Trudeau. As a matter of fact, I think this so-called leader has embarrassed himself when he has absolutely no concrete evidence or proof, and it's based on mere hearsay. The very important point I'd like to derive, Poonamji, I've always believed with great power, there's great responsibility and equal accountability. The fact I was listening to my dear senior friend Tom Vadakan Sahab, who I have great respect for and debating as well, the fact he articulated a very strong point in the sense of the opposition and the Congress party and the ruling party here, the BJP, need to come together. The fact of the matter is, this needs to be a sacrosanct when it comes to one demand for the country, that we stand united. Now let me reiterate what did Pawan Khera ji say. Pawan Khera ji, being a chief national spokesperson of the Congress party, stated the same. He made it categorically clear that the Congress party stands with India and its position. Also, when we speak of Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who's the chief communication in charge, he's made a very valid point, and allow me to please quote him. Jairam Ramesh says it is imperative that the government of India promptly and clearly articulate its stance on the issue. The opposition must be fully informed, as safeguarding India's global standing is a shared responsibility. Our nation's international image as a country that believes and adheres to rule of law at risk is crucial that we act together to defend it. He's merely stating the same thing. Many a times when we heard Smriti Irani ji, Nirmala Sitharaman ji in the days of UPA, they spoke the same thing. The fact we need to understand, be it the Congress party, the Bharatiya Janata party, or the other leaders of both the houses of parliament need to come together. A mere humble request as a citizen of this country to the Modi ji's esteemed government would be, take all the leaders together, bring in confidence, and then lay out. I am sure every leader, true to its blood, who's elected, come to the assembly or nominated, will abide by this stand.
Sure.
And mind you, Tom Vadakanji, no leader of opposition would want to destabilize our motherland. So that is one statement I think Tom Vadakanji need to take back.
But Syed Asad Abbas, you quoted out of what Jairam Ramesh posted yesterday. So let me quote out the bits that you left out. He said allegations made by Canada are threatening to escalate, tarnishing India's global reputation and damaging brand India.
Absolutely,
Our nation's
Poonamji.
international image as a country that believes in and adheres to rule of law is at risk.
Yes, Poonamji. I'm glad.
Why
you
is it at risk? Why is our image of brand India at risk over allegations that have been made by a leader with no proof, who's admitted it himself that there is no proof of what I said? It's based on intel.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you go through the same footage, I have quoted this as well, what Jairam Ramesh ji said. Here, the allegation which is coming in, the Khalistani, Nijjar, who has always stood by the Khalistani movement, Justin Trudeau and the Canada government believing that he was killed by any of the Indian officials. Yes, there must be a clear stand from the India's government that India and its government had absolutely nothing and no role to play on the same. This would embarrass Justin Trudeau a lot more. A leader of his office, his position, having absolutely no clue.
It's not about him being embarrassed a lot more. It's just about him being embarrassed. Period. India does
is
not
very
have the
important.
onus to prove anything here. We're not the ones leveling allegations without any proof. But the point,
Yes, Poonamji.
but the point I was trying to make is that why do we see politicians from opposition ranks jump the gun and make these kind of comments when perhaps patience is what is
I will answer
required?
that in 10 seconds.
When perhaps
I will
patience
answer
is
that.
required. Yes, 10 seconds before I get in the other
10
panelists
seconds.
as well.
Thank you for the time, Poonamji. The fact of the matter, Adarniya Pradhan Mantri Modi ji has said, opposition is the backbone of democracy. And I personally, he said he enjoys the question being asked by the opposition. So opposition in its right has the right to criticize, to question the government in power. And it's important that India and the government makes the stand clear. So that
Which
in
they
the
have,
worldview
not
and
just in the
geopolitics-
last 12 hours, but in the last 1 year, every single time that these allegations came to the fore.
and the geopolitical front where India shines. And जैसे कहते हैं हमारी ज़बान में कि दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाए, and this man anyway has no concrete evidence whatsoever.
But that still
And we
comes,
must
it
stand
still
united
comes
on
back
that
to
front.
why opposition leaders jump the gun. Tom Vadakan, 30 seconds for your rebuttal. I saw your hand going up before I get in Tarakarta as well. She's been waiting patiently.
Well, the fact of the matter is, having known the Congress party very closely, the entire, I use the word very carefully, regime change is the target because they have realized that electoral battle, there's no takeoff. Under that circumstances, they go and belittle India whenever the dynast of the Congress party visits any foreign country. Democracy is under threat. The federal structure is under threat. This is basically the same line that Jairam Ramesh, the so-called mentor of Rahul Gandhi, uses all the time. And that Soros script is visible. And that is the evidence that I'm stating, and I'm on public record, that this script is being enacted time and again against the present government. While we have to be together, never in the history has the foreign policy been disputed. And here, Jairam Ramesh is, colloquially called the oracle. The oracle makes the pronouncement which his boss wouldn't. And, these are testing of waters. They will use this. But the question here is, Abbas, who is afraid of taking the parliamentarians into confidence? Nobody. But if you call them and they don't attend the meeting, we have a problem, Abbas. That's where they make it a point to show there is differences in the government, and that is what brings a bad image to the country. When we call a meeting, they don't come. And when they don't come, the media says, well, there is a huge difference of opinion and that difference of opinion is primarily political and must be confined to India, not onto foreign policy.
I think Tom Vadakanji, let me put this on record as well and say that if, as Tom Vadakan Sahab has articulated, and both the houses of the leaders of opposition and parliament were brought together, the meeting was held, I think that is a great step in the right direction, sir. Undoubtedly, be the opposition or the government, we must be in one stand. Our stand needs to be sacrosanct. We might have our
Thank
differences,
you.
but when it comes to India,
Thank you, Abbas.
it has to
At
be the
least
nation
you are
first.
on
There are
the
no
same
two ways
page as
about
I
it.
am.
And yes, sir, absolutely, we must come together. There are no two ways about it. I think we need to understand that to take on the might of the other countries, India as a global Vishwa Guru, I think it's important that unity is the way to go. There could be differences of opinions. जैसे आदरणीय, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji ने कहा था, we might have differences of ideologies, but there should be no differences of opinions when it comes to the interest of the country. मतभेद होना चाहिए, मनभेद नहीं.
Tarakarta, let me get you in on that. Some things have to be above politics, and I don't think any political party can claim high moral ground on that. Would you agree? Because we've seen practically every political party try and gain political mileage out of issues like foreign policy or national security at the times that they've suited them.
Yeah, actually, initially I was very happy to see that the Congress had issued this statement saying we stand behind that was a wonderful thing. And then this kind of statements comes, which is very, very unfortunate. The whole point of what Trudeau did when he came to India and, he got a very bad visit, went back to Parliament and made this accusation, he made it impossible for us to actually do anything. He publicly said these things, and his whole idea is to create precisely this kind of pressure on us, is to divide us, and we must resist that. And I would really beg all political parties to stand together and, show us, as like you said, we've got nothing that we have to prove. This man has gone and made these wild allegations. So why should we, sort of start squabbling over it? Please, we should not. One. Number two, the fact is, this I just want to throw in as a aside. At the end of his deposition, which he made, you know what this man did? He's the last speaker. He says the opposition in his country has been completely taken over. Foreign interference is rife among opposition leaders. Again, without giving any facts, he cites secret stuff which he has, which nobody else apparently has. And he doesn't give a chance to anyone to ask questions. The session ends there. This is what Trudeau does all the time. He makes statements without backing it. He makes statements which makes him look very big. And so we must not fall into that trap.
And it's all an act of a desperate leader, isn't it? His approval ratings are tanking. His re-election for next year doesn't look like it's going anywhere. His own party has no faith in him. The people in the country have no faith in him. More reason why his words should not have any value for political parties here in India, Tarakarta, isn't it?
Absolutely right, Poonam. We should be able together to see this man for what he is. And also, I think we need to make a difference between Trudeau and Canada. We want good relations with Canada, and we will continue to have that kind of a policy. And Trudeau's going, right, as you said. Hopefully he will go. But our relationship with Canada must remain. To that extent, I think we all agree on that. But in other, there is no need for us to go, let them first take action. Just now, half an hour back, the MEA spokesman has said 26 times we've given representations to this country, and they have never done anything. And I want to get another issue. 1985, after the Kanishka bombing, in 89, they threw out 2 Indian embassy officials, again for spying, or for whatever reason. But this is after they did nothing, okay? They did nothing on the Kanishka bombing. But the only difference is, during 1989, the government kept very quiet about it. They didn't raise a hue and cry. They didn't name India. They had an issue. They got the embassy officials out, which was the wrong thing to do. But at least this man has, like I said, made it impossible for India to do anything by not giving us any evidence, and making going back and making this whole thing public. Who's going to talk to him now? He's even made a meeting with NSA public. So which agency, I'm from the, NSA, I would never talk to a man like this. Because what I say today, tomorrow he's going to talk in the newspapers.
Absolutely. His personal credibility is down the dumps. Unfortunately, whether that translates into credibility that Canada has, we perhaps hope not that it doesn't escalate to that, because elections are going to happen next year in Canada. He's around for a few more months, and God knows how much more damage he can do given what he's done in the last 1 year. But on that note, I have to leave it here. All we can hope is that politicians in India are on the same page as far as issues like national security and foreign policy is concerned. I thank all my panelists for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. Time for a quick break, but on the other side, we'll get you details of why there are so many hoax calls, hoax bomb threats that are being made to Indian airlines. We'll get you details of what the government has lined up.
At L'Oréal Group.
Well, as the India-Canada ties continue to take a serious hit, Charanjit Singh Channi of the Congress has now made a statement and said, and I'm going to quote him here, that India and Canada enjoy very good relations. People from Punjab are living in Canada in a very large number. We enjoy good people-to-people ties also, so we should not spoil the relationship with Canada. Our government should take steps to improve the bilateral ties. Agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters. In fact, he has touched upon the murder of Sidhu Moosewala and has went on to say that the murder of Sidhu Moosewala was completely political. We'll bring you more details with regards to the word and suggestion coming in from Indian National Congress and former Chief Minister of the state, Charanjit Singh Channi. But at this point of time, he has made some serious statements. He has said that India and Canada do enjoy very good relations, and a large number of people, the Indian community, do reside in Canada, specifically from Punjab. So we should go on and solve the issue at first, because we enjoy good people-to-people ties with Canada. We should not spoil the relationship going on with the Canada. Our government should also take steps to improve the bilateral ties between the two nations. In fact, he has said that agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters, and the murder of Sidhu Moosewala is completely political. Let's listen into what exactly, Congress's member Charanjit Singh Nijjar.
ਸਾਡਾ 9 ਮਾਸ ਦਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਘਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਖਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਧਾਰੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈ।
ਇੱਕ ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਫਿਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਨਾ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਬਿੱਲੀ ਥੈਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਜੰਸੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੂਸੇਵਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਤਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਮਝ ਆ।
CNN News 18 senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining us on the phone line. Pallavi, a very good morning to you. This is a very serious statement that Charanjit Singh Channi has made. First of all, he has also said that, Sidhu Moosewala's murder was extremely political, and you will get to know about it later in the days to come, of course. And he has spoken about how maximum number of Punjabi people are residing there in Canada. So Indian government should solve the issue at first.
Well, he's of course speaking from his constituency of Punjab. I mean, he's of course a member of parliament from there, and he's been chief minister of the state. See, not just lots of Sikhs who are settled in Canada, likewise a lot of money comes into Punjab by way of, earnings of Indians who have settled down in Canada. If you go through Punjab, you will notice actually almost every third to fourth house has one person who's an NRI settled in Canada. So the contribution of the earnings of the state also comes in from a large number of Sikhs settled in Canada, and that is the reason why he's voicing this concern that if India-Canada relations and trade ties and employment gets further derailed, it's going to start hurting the people of Punjab, and especially those young people who may have settled in Canada to make their earning. And that's the stand which he has taken, very much in sync with that of the Congress party largely, but this is precisely the point which is likely to stoke a lot of controversy. India has taken a tough stand against Canada, saying that they are needlessly blaming India and also meddling in our internal affairs. When a member of parliament stands up and says that we need to improve relationships with Canada, it of course throws up a lot of contradictions. It also throws up a lot of controversy, where the BJP is certainly going to ask this question, is that where are your loyalties lying? Is it with India or is it with Canada?
And since you have spoken about contradiction, Pallavi, please stay on with us. We have another statement coming in, this time around from Jairam Ramesh of Congress. He has also made a statement. He posted on his social media profile X, and I'm going to quote a couple of lines from that tweet here, that the Indian National Congress has already asked the Prime Minister to
Thank you for staying with us. Over the last 4 days, several flights have been disrupted, inconveniencing many passengers and causing a headache to not just the aviation sector but the central government as well, because all of these have faced bomb threats, over a dozen of them in the last 4 days, including today. It has left everyone panicked, but the Indian government is prepared. Government, in fact, chaired a meeting to counter this hoax call menace as well. The Ministry of Home Affairs has sought reports on the series of hoax calls that were made to different Indian airlines. The investigation into this entire issue would also determine whether the threats are part of a larger conspiracy to harm the reputation of India's aviation sector. So let's take a look at the recent episodes of these threat calls that have been made. Let's begin with what happened today. There was a Vistara flight from Frankfurt to Mumbai. It landed safely in Mumbai, but there was a hoax call on board that flight as well. Yesterday, an Indigo flight from Mumbai to Delhi was diverted to Ahmedabad over a similar call. The same day, an Akasa Air flight from Delhi to Bengaluru also returned to Delhi because a similar call was made. Air India flight from Delhi to Chicago was diverted to Canada after a hoax call was made. This happened day before yesterday. Air India Express from Jaipur to Ayodhya to Bangalore landed safely at the Bengaluru airport, but while it was on the way to Ayodhya is when that hoax call was made. Another Indigo flight from Daman to Lucknow was diverted to Jaipur. This again happened over all of these hoax calls that we have seen, and there are several other such instances over the last 4 days. Now, arrests have been made. These seem like isolated instances is what the government says, but a larger conspiracy cannot be ruled out and a probe in that matter would be done. Let's listen in to what the Union Aviation Minister had to say about all of this.
We can't comment anything like a conspiracy, but whatever little bit we have known, it's coming from minors or some pranksters. Genuinely, for some very little petty things, they are trying to do these kind of threats on the social media or through phone calls. So they are all very minor and isolated incidents.
Minor and isolated incidents for now, but the probe is on and the government has decided to take stringent measures in this case as well. On that note, a quick break on Plain Speak. But on the other side, we'll get you politics that's speaking in Uttar Pradesh. 5 accused were arrested and 2 shot at. All of these accused as far as the Bahraich violence is concerned. Why is there politics over it? We'll tell you after the break.
Well, as the India-Canada ties continue to take a serious hit, Charanjit Singh Channi of the Congress has now made a statement and said, and I'm going to quote him here, that India and Canada enjoy very good relations. People from Punjab are living in Canada in a very large number. We enjoy good people-to-people ties also, so we should not spoil the relationship with Canada. Government should take steps to improve the bilateral ties. Agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters. In fact, he has touched upon the murder of Sidhu Moosewala and has went on to say that the murder of Sidhu Moosewala was completely political. We'll bring you more details with regards to the word and suggestion coming in from Indian National Congress and former Chief Minister of the state, Charanjit Singh Channi. But at this point of time, he has made some serious statements. He has said that India and Canada do enjoy very good relations and a large number of people, the Indian community, do reside in Canada, specifically from Punjab. So we should go on and solve the issue at first because we enjoy good people-to-people ties with Canada. We should not spoil the relationship going on with the Canada. Our government should also take steps to improve the bilateral ties between the two nations. In fact, he has said that agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters and the murder of Sidhu Moosewala is completely political. Let's listen into what exactly, Congress's member Charanjit Singh
ਸਾਡਾ 9 ਮਾਸ ਦਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਘਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਖਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਧਾਰੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੱਜ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈ।
ਇੱਕ ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਫਿਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਨਾ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਬਿੱਲੀ ਥੈਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਜੰਸੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੂਸੇਵਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਤਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਮਝ ਆ।
CNN News 18 senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining us on the phone line. Pallavi, a very good morning to you. This is a very serious statement that Charanjit Singh Channi has made. First of all, he has also said that, Sidhu Moosewala's murder was extremely political and you will get to know about it later in the days to come, of course. And he has spoken about how maximum number of Punjabi people are residing there in Canada. So Indian government should solve the issue at first.
Well, he's of course speaking from his constituency of Punjab. I mean, he's of course a member of parliament out there and he's been chief minister of the state. See, not just lots of Sikhs who are settled in Canada, likewise a lot of money comes into Punjab by way of earnings of Indians who have settled down in Canada. If you go through Punjab, you will notice actually almost every third to fourth house has one person who's an NRI settled in Canada. So the contribution of the earnings of the state also comes in from a large number of Sikhs settled in Canada, and that is the reason why he's voicing this concern that if India-Canada relations and trade ties and employment gets further derailed, it's going to start hurting the people of Punjab, and especially those young people who may have settled in Canada to make their earning. And that's the stand which he has taken, very much in sync with that of the Congress party largely, but this is precisely the point which is likely to stoke a lot of controversy. India has taken a tough stand against Canada, saying that they are needlessly blaming India and also meddling in our internal affairs. When a member of parliament stands up and says that we need to improve relationships with Canada, it of course throws up a lot of contradictions. It also throws up a lot of controversy, where the BJP is certainly going to ask this question, is that where are your loyalties lying? Is it with India or is it with Canada?
And since you have spoken about contradiction, Pallavi, please stay on with us. We have another statement coming in, this time around from Jairam Ramesh of Congress. He has also made a statement. He posted on his social media profile X, and I'm going to quote a couple of lines from that tweet here, that the Indian National Congress has already asked the Prime Minister to take the leaders of opposition in both the Houses of Parliament and other political leaders into confidence on the serious charges levelled against the government of India by the USA and Canada. Allegations made by Canada are tarnishing India's global reputation and damaging brand India. Pallavi continues to stay on with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, we heard from Charanjit Singh Channi. He is asking to sit down and have a talk with Canada, but at the same time, Jairam Ramesh is saying that, take all the members of the opposition also into confidence. And let's talk about how India's brand is being damaged internationally.
Thank you for staying with us. 4 days after violence broke out in Uttar Pradesh's Bahraich, in which one person, Ram Gopal Mishra, was killed, Uttar Pradesh police arrested 5 people. 2 of the accused, Sarfaraz and Talib, were shot at after they tried to flee. This will happen near the UP-Nepal border. The encounter video accessed by CNN News 18 shows the accused accepting that they were trying to evade arrest and it was a mistake. The incident has reignited encounter politics though in the state. The Congress and the Samajwadi Party accusing the Yogi government of indulging in fake encounters to hide its failures. The BJP, on the other hand, citing police action to defend itself. So why exactly are we seeing this kind of encounter politics? Was this an encounter or was this an extrajudicial action like the opposition alleges?
एनकाउंटर करना और नफरत को बढ़ावा देना, ये सरकार को नया तरीका मिल गया है काम करने का।
ये पहले से फर्जी इनकाउंटर करा रही है, चाहे वो मंगेश यादव का हो, अजीत प्रताप सिंह का हो, चाहे ये बहराइच, ये केवल और केवल अपनी फेलियर को, अपनी कमियों को छिपाने के लिए की जाती है। इस नाते मारी गई है कि उनको पकड़ करके और सबक सिखाया जाएगा। अभी तो गोलियां लगी है ना, और कुछ लगेगा।
Let's open this up. Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, joins us. Tariq Khan, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, is with us as well. Tariq Khan, let me begin by asking you. We had Akhilesh Yadav react just a short while ago to this entire incident. He says this is nothing but the government hiding its failure and these are fake encounters. Why do you believe so?
First of all, let me say why it's a failure. When all this happened on that particular day, the boy which climbed up on the stairs of that house, 4 police person was there. What they have done nothing. Point number 1. How could the person who fired the gun run away at that point? Why was at the same time when the alleged songs were played at that point, why the administration has not stopped all those things at that point? So it's a complete failure of the government. Now they are just want to hiding all the things, trying to hide all the things by doing this fake encounter and what is this. They have already arrested them, all of them, 3 days before 3 days. So we have all the information, even though government should accept that they are not able to maintain law and order in the state. See what happened in Bahrain. See, this could happen anywhere. What was the situation of law and order on the roads? People are there. They have vandalized more than 50 houses were burnt. And the people were innocent. They have nothing to do with all those things. This is the responsibility of the government of Nepal to look at the law and order of Uttar Pradesh. It's not the responsibility of Yogi government. The responsibility of the Yogi government to do a fake encounter.
But why do you think it's a fake encounter? That video that's going on our screens, I can put out the nags for you as well, and you can hear what these guys are saying. They're saying गलती हो गई, भागना नहीं चाहिए था.
You could decide whatever you want, but to maintain the law and order is the responsibility of the state.
Sure, I agree with you 100%.
So just reverse back yourself 5 days. Just revert what was.
Sure, I agree with you on that note. I am agreeing with you, Tariq Khan. I am just asking you, why do you think this encounter is fake?
More than 50 houses was vandalized. Whose responsibility is that? Is the responsibility of the Chief Minister of Bihar. Yes, I accept it's nothing to do with Yogi Adityanath. He is just to meet the people and say,
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. What happened in Bahrain 5 days ago shouldn't have happened. The government should have been more alert. I agree with you there. But you're still not answering my question of why you think this is a fake encounter.
Because they have already arrested them. Not today, even day before today. They have already arrested them. What I am saying, I have proof. But it's all right. You have arrested them.
So are you saying this entire video that is orchestrated then? Where you can hear the accused say that galti ho gayi, bhagna nahi chahiye tha.
It's not the first time they are doing this. Yeah, we have law. Nobody have right to kill anybody. They should be punished. They should be punished. If Sarfaraz have fired the gun, he should be punished in hardest manner. But the incident happened over there should not be there. What was the slogan? Mullo bhago Pakistan. That was the slogan for half an hour. Half an hour. Mullah means Musalman. I'm also Musalman.
I agree with you. There was a failure of law and order when the incident happened.
First of all, ask Shahzad Punewala to leave for Pakistan. First of all. Then Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi is also Muslim.
Sure, Mr. Khan, I agree with you there.
Follow them.
I agree with you there.
Anila Singh, let me not asking the fair question.
Okay.
Not asking the fair question.
Okay, no, okay. Let me ask that question to the BJP spokesperson. Anila Singh, this is a failure of law and order in Uttar Pradesh, and to hide how the state failed 5 days ago in Bahrain, this entire orchestration took place. That is the allegation not just the Samajwadi Party but the Congress in the state is also making.
My Ram to all, and I just have to say that in last 7 years, firm resolve, tough measures, never to die attitude of Yogi Adityanath ji's strong political will has borne fruits. And that is why people of Uttar Pradesh, they are happy with the governance. What I am observing is that Samajwadi Party was not so much agitated, frustrated and in angst when Ram Gopal was shot dead by the people of one particular religious community. All right. And today he is very angry. Everybody from Samajwadi Party, right from Akhilesh Yadav ji to the spokesperson, everybody is very angry. Why this encounter happened? Why this encounter happened? Like in encounters in last 7 years, we have lost lives of more than 11 police person as well. So encounters are not fake. They are not alleged. If they are going to fire on police, police is going to fire back. आरती नहीं उतारने वाले हैं, ठीक है? और ये बहुत भोले भाले लोग नहीं हैं. If they were saying something, if there was some sort of wrong song which was played by certain people in that procession, you could have complained. ये मतलब होता है कि आप मार देंगे. You will shoot somebody, and that person is going to die. Then you will start playing the victim card because Akhilesh Yadav ji wants that his vote bank should be intact. Because this Muslim vote bank is, allegedly it gets divided into various political parties except Bharatiya Janata Party. Because for them, we are the valiant. Though we do each and every work without any discrimination on the lines of the religion or the caste. But those who say that, yes, we are the Mai-Baps, we are going to give patronage to you, we are going to do your advocacy, you can say, you can do whatever. We gave 5 kgs of ration to everybody, those who deserve. and I suppose they give 5 kgs of stones to everybody, start pelting whenever there is a Hindu procession. This is not acceptable at all. If the criminals, they are going to shoot at police, police is going to take action. And they should not try to patronize this thing. This is absolutely wrong. During the tenure of Samajwadi Party, or I can say before 7 years, before 2017, so much of chaos was there in Uttar Pradesh. Everywhere you can find crime, corruption. And who was sponsoring it? The ruling governments were sponsoring it. So whenever you are going to talk about any person who is mafia, don, criminal, and especially if he comes from one particular religious community, you will find Samajwadi Party advocating for that person. Why it is so? Do they think that people of Uttar Pradesh, they do not understand? And let me tell you, this is the only example in whole of the world where a majority population is always being targeted by so-called minorities, so-called I am saying, because India has the second largest Muslim population in the world. Dr. Zakir Hussain, their ladla beta, he says, Jannat hai, India's Jannat hai, Muslims ke liye. Why? Because he knows that except one political party, rest of the political parties, they patronize him. They patronize that.
Sure, so criminals have political patronage, Tariq Khan. That's the allegation against the Samajwadi Party, and it's not a new one. That there is selective outreach. When we saw what happened in Bahraich 5 days ago, like you're speaking now, yes, there was failure of law and order, as you're alleging. But then the same amount of hue and cry was not made back then as it is being made now, is what the BJP says.
I'm not alleging. Visual shows that what was the condition of Bahraich. Poor people were vandalized, more than 50 poor people. And the exact situation is pathetic over in Bahraich on that day and the next day as well. This was the situation. And you always talk about 5 kg of ration to the Muslim. Okay, they are not giving taxes. Muslims are not giving taxes. They are not giving direct taxes, even though they are not giving indirect taxes. On that behalf, you are giving them 5 kilo ration only to the Muslim, not to the majority. This is the type of politics BJP has been doing. How could you say that you are giving 5 kilo ration and doing it a ihsan on Muslim? They are the taxpayer. And all Indians are taxpayer, as you, as me, or anybody, a Christian, a Hindu, or Muslim, a Sikh. Not in between. Not in between. Ask this lady to be on their part.
Finish your point. Anla Singh, I'll get you in. Please finish your point, Tariq Khan.
Give her time as well. She'll get the time. You'll get the time. Okay? And nobody is criticizing Mullo Musalmano, Pakistan. Nobody is criticizing. Or his minister from Bihar, he's saying कि जितने मुसलमान हैं अगर पाकिस्तान चले जाते तो हमारी बहू बेटियां बच जाती. गिरिराज सिंह. This is very good statement. Should be appreciated. भगाओ. सबसे पहले शहजाद पूनावाला, मुख्तार अब्बास नकवी को पाकिस्तान भगाओ. Will follow them. जो आपके मुसलमान हैं आपकी पार्टी में. आपने मुसलमान संगठन बना रखा है, मुस्लिम विंग बना रखी है, मुसलमानों को अपने संगठन में दे रखा है, उनको भगाओ सबसे पहले. You are not criticizing that. Somebody had the authority to vandalize anybody's home. आप उसके छत पे चल जाए, कोई भी झंडा लगाए, fair enough. It's all right. It's all right. अच्छी बात है. You can do that. But I am still saying that you cannot kill anybody. Whatever has happened is very sad for Bahraich, and this should not be happen. And anybody should not go to that extent to kill somebody, because that is the moral responsibility of all the Indian to don't go at that extent. But it's also the responsibility of the administration to stop that thing to happen and to exceed to that extent. And the administration, the police had allowed things. 4 policemen standing there when people are just shouting that vandalize that home. Why you are not asked that people that just move ahead, don't do this. This is not right. This is the way.
So police were mute spectators, Anila Singh, back 5 days ago in Bahraich is the allegation. But does that justify what happened? And if selective outrage is or selective criticism is an allegation the opposition faces, it's also an allegation the BJP faces today.
See, I will make 2-3 quick points here. Number one, when mob is there and that many police persons are not there, then at times it happens that the type of action which could have been taken by the police force, it doesn't happen. So they were not expecting that stone pelting will be done on Hindu procession. All right, they were not expecting, most probably, but it is the matter of investigation, and everything will be out very soon. It will be out. Like we know that, and yes, one more thing, Mr. Tariq was saying about the ration which we give. So no taxpayer takes that ration, sir. That is for the people who are underprivileged, living below the poverty line. And secondly, when you talk about the equality, sir, when you talk about the equality, you say that yes, we are the citizens of this great country, Bharat, and we should be treated equally. Of course, Constitution gives you that right. Then why you thrive on appeasement? Why you do not support UCC? If you think that you are the equal citizen here in this nation, why you want extra right? Something, or I can say your action and your words do not support each other, because you have got the political parties support, number one, Congress party, and other political parties in states like whether it is TMC, BSP, Samajwadi Party, RJD, on and on and on. The reality is, sir, you thrive on the all the patronage which is being given to you. And if I talk about the Uttar Pradesh, if any criminal, mafia, don, or any person who is not following the law, then the bulldozer action will be also taken. And then if they are being arrested, and if they are not arrested, police is chasing them. If they are going to shoot at police, police is going to shoot them back. And if it is their luck, bullet may hit your leg or it may hit your chest as well. But I think bullets are also suffering from appeasement politics, because the maximum time they do not choose chest, they choose some other body part. Because I do not have any sympathy for the criminals.
But that's the law,
any caste or religion.
You can't be defending, even if there is someone who's evading the law. The law states that the policeman cannot open fire at somebody's chest or their head. They are bound to hit them in their leg.
Poonamji,
Also, when you speak of bulldozer action, it's not even that is being called extrajudicial. There is a court case going on over there.
Listen, Poonamji. When encounter happens, first bullet is always fired from the criminal side, and when police is firing back, or the criminals are firing on the police, bullet doesn't know where to hit. Okay, it can be chest, it can be head, it can be your arm, it can be your leg. Okay, so we do not know. But I don't have any sympathy for the criminals coming from any caste or religion. Those who
sure, there should be no sympathy for any criminals, but there can't be extrajudicial action against criminals either. We have the judiciary in this country, which is paramount. Criminals must not be spared. I agree with you 100%, but extrajudicial action cannot be justified either.
Nobody takes extrajudicial action. This action is also under the law. If anybody is going to fire on police, police can fire back. Whatever they do, law allows them. But the reality is, in this great nation, if something happens to one particular religious community, whether that person is a mafia, don, heinous criminal, then it becomes a national news. And we start debating on it. And this is the only example in whole of the world, I'm telling you.
Tariq Khan, this is not the first time that we've had an encounter. You've listed yourself a few in the recent past. If the opposition, the Samajwadi Party, believes all of them are fake, you have legal recourse. Please go to courts. That has happened in the past. Certain encounters have been deemed to be fake. Other encounters have been deemed to not be fake.
It's already there. Many of the cases, like the Jaunpur case, was in the court. And the probe has been asked. Whenever encounter happens, there has been already a process of a probe. But special probe has been asked in certain cases. And if in a future course of action, there was a fake encounter in 2005, and in 2023 it had got proved that it was a fake encounter. So there was no time limit to prove something that is a fake encounter. That is not the part of our constitution. Our part of the constitution is to give punishment by legal process, and we have strict laws. Everybody should be punished by the legal process, not by the fake encounter. This is bad example and wrong example putting by the UP state government, and this should not be should not be expanded in a way that it will become an example for whole India to kill somebody in any case. Means this should not be the way. Everybody should be taken care or should be punished by the way of law. We have our law there. It's existing there. So point number 2. What I am saying, what I have tried to say that BJP talks about appeasement politics. What Amit Shah doing in Kashmir, 2 cylinder Ramzan Eid mein or Muharram mein, that is not appeasement. I don't know why you have asked people to have 2 cylinder in Ramzan and on Eid and on Muharram. What was the reason for that? Why you have asked Muslim to give votes? This is not appeasement. Chandrababu Naidu, your party.
But all parties are guilty of appeasement. I don't think anybody is above that, and nobody should claim high moral ground on it. The point is patronage to criminals.
Why BJP talks about appeasement politics? You are also there. I am accepting we are there, but they are also there. See Maharashtra government, they have increased 3 times the stipend of the madrasa teachers. 3 times. That was 500, now it's 15,000. It's appeasement.
But that still does not explain why, if action is taken against criminals, which may or may not be right, will be proved in the court of law, why jump the gun and call it fake in the first place? That's the only limited point that I wanted to make, but unfortunately I'm completely run out of time. I thank you both for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak and sharing your perspective. It's a wrap from my side here on this edition. Thank you so much for tuning in.
At L'Oréal.
Well, as the India-Canada ties continue to take a serious hit, Charanjit Singh Channi of the Congress has now made a statement and said, and I'm going to quote him here, that India and Canada enjoy very good relations. People from Punjab are living in Canada in a very large number. We enjoy good people-to-people ties also, so we should not spoil the relationship with Canada. Our government should take steps to improve the bilateral ties. Agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters. In fact, he has touched upon the murder of Sidhu Moosewala and has went on to say that the murder of Sidhu Moosewala was completely political. We'll bring you more details with regards to the word and suggestion coming in from Indian National Congress and former Chief Minister of the state, Charanjit Singh Channi. But at this point of time, he has made some serious statements. He has said that India and Canada do enjoy very good relations, and a large number of people, the Indian community, do reside in Canada, specifically from Punjab. So we should go on and solve the issue at first, because we enjoy good people-to-people ties with Canada. We should not spoil the relationship going on with the Canada. Our government should also take steps to improve the bilateral ties between the two nations. In fact, he has said that agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters, and the murder of Sidhu Moosewala is completely political. Let's listen into what exactly, Congress's member Charanjit Singh Channi.
ਸਾਡਾ 9 ਮਾਸ ਦਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਘਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਖਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਧਾਰੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈ।
ਇੱਕ ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਫਿਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਨਾ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਬਿੱਲੀ ਥੈਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਜੰਸੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੂਸੇਵਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਤਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਮਝ ਆ।
CNN News 18 senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining us on the phone line. Pallavi, a very good morning to you. This is a very serious statement that Charanjit Singh Channi has made. First of all, he has also said that, Sidhu Moosewala's murder was extremely political, and you will get to know about it later in the days to come, of course. And he has spoken about how maximum number of Punjabi people are residing there in Canada. So Indian government should solve the issue at first.
Well, he's of course speaking from his constituency of Punjab. I mean, he's of course a member of parliament out there, and he's been chief minister of the state. See, not just lots of Sikhs who are settled in Canada. Likewise, a lot of money comes into Punjab by way of, earnings of Indians who have settled down in Canada. If you go through Punjab, you will notice actually almost every third to fourth house has one person who's an NRI settled in Canada. So the contribution of the earnings of the state also comes in from a large number of Sikhs settled in Canada, and that is the reason why he's voicing this concern that if India-Canada relations and trade ties and employment gets further derailed, it's going to start hurting the people of Punjab, and especially those young people who may have settled in Canada to make their earning. And that's the stand which he has taken, very much in sync with that of the Congress party largely, but this is precisely the point which is likely to stoke a lot of controversy. India has taken a tough stand against Canada, saying that they are needlessly blaming India and also meddling in our internal affairs. When a member of parliament stands up and says that we need to improve relationships with Canada, it of course throws up a lot of contradictions. It also throws up a lot of controversy, where the BJP is certainly going to ask this question, is that where are your loyalties lying? Is it with India or is it with Canada?
And since you have spoken about contradiction, Pallavi, please stay on with us. We have another statement coming in, this time around from Jairam Ramesh of Congress. He has also made a statement. He posted on his social media profile X, and I'm going to quote a couple of lines from that tweet here, that the Indian National Congress has already asked the Prime Minister to take the...
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. It was in 2019 that the centre removed 312 Sikh foreign nationals from the 35-year-old blacklist. Later, a 50-member delegation of Sikhs from across the United States met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Houston and thanked him for removing the names of over 3